Good evening, everybody. I hope you're well. Welcome to 167, episode 167 of Tuesday Night Edits. I hope you're here for something a little bit different tonight. We are, what are we doing tonight? We are venturing into Switzerland this evening, far away from Northumberland, which is quite a nice thing, to be honest. And we are venturing to, I presumed it's pronounced Chillon or Chillon Castle. It'd be some fancy way of saying it. I'll call it Chillon Castle. Just because that's what we're going to call it. Which is on the lake, is on the banks of the Lake Geneva. So yes, tonight we are working on images captured by Jonas. We are working together for a collaboration, working on Swiss castles. We've already done one of something called Chillon Castle. I presume it's pronounced like that. I am not entirely sure. I got a load of images out of that. So I've also told them how to take a few more variances, so we might get a little bit more to play with this one. And yeah, got that data on Saturday. I think I got it. Tried very hard not to edit something, but if you saw the thumbnail for the video, then I did make one version very, very quickly. But tonight is the proper start, because basically all I did was use the first 4 images that I saw for that one, and tonight we'll be a little bit more selective and work on something with a little bit more space, maybe, because I do like things with a bit more room around said subject. So excited to get going with that. I'm getting notifications. Yes, okay, I guess I'll catch you later. So got that going on, and yeah, that's basically the main focus of this week. And seeing as petrol is so inexpensive at the minute, that might be all I'm photographing, working on for a little while, because I can't see me getting out and about very much at the moment. Not when petrol's like 160. Was it 163 a litre? For you Americans, that's over $8 a gallon. Been working that out a lot recently, so I can compare. So yeah, don't think I'm going to be going on any trips anytime soon. So just going to have to do rinse and repeat a lot, unfortunately. But we are working towards possibly having a little bit of a break from Tuesday Night Edits, because in I think about 5 weeks' time will be the 4th birthday of Tuesday Night Edits. So expect something for that night, and then there might be a couple of weeks off. We'll see. Anyways, Stephanie, you were on your way, weren't you? Good. Anyways, nice to see you, Stephanie, if you're still here. If not, hope the talk goes well for that group in Ireland. Good morning, Paul. How are you, sir? Yeah, daylight savings will spoil it. I think it's still got 2 weeks to go. Well, a week and a half now until it changes. But the Americans have already changed. So Peter will be here an hour earlier than normal. Good afternoon anyway, Peter. Hope you're well. So if my maths is right, it is... No, you'll be here an hour later. I don't know. Confused. So if my maths is right, it is 3:30ish in the afternoon, Peter? Might be, might not be. Don't know. Possibly. We'll see. We'll see when you answer. How are you, Peter? Hope you're well. An hour later. There you go. See, maths and me didn't quite work out. That's my one sensible subject that for a while I was all right at. So I did maths at A level. Other than that, at A level, I did art and I did classical civilization. Can you tell I was looking for easy subjects? Right. Oh, and by the way, if anybody of you are eagle-eyed, you may see a change somewhere on screen. you might see that the TV has disappeared. It has actually gone to live in a room where I can actually sit on a sofa and watch TV rather than have it sitting in the background of the office, never plugged in, never switched on. So it's moved and it's been replaced by a lovely picture of a deer. There you go. Right then. So, well, seeing you're all very not chatty tonight, I'm going to start drinking heavily. That sound will bring everybody running. You know, it's new shorts. It's not quite shorts weather yet, Peter. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. You know, it's not quite April yet. Good evening, Anne. How are you? Hi, Joseph. How are you doing? Hope you're both well. Right. So anyway, Tuesday. I couldn't believe it was Tuesday today when I came along. You're making breakfast for you and the dog. Fried breakfast, Paul? Oh yeah, I was quite surprised this morning. I couldn't believe it was Tuesday already. I was half convinced it was Monday, so I was quite surprised at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. I was like, I need to make the thumbnail and everything for tonight. So it's been a bit of a busy one already. Good evening, Alan, mate. How are you doing, sir? Alan, I need to pick your brains about something. A project at home. But I will be in touch. Just basically looking for a guide price on something. A healthy breakfast, Paul. What's one of them? Is it like muesli or something? Mind saying that. Fried breakfast and all that. You only get that when you go on holiday here. Well, if you're me anyway. Right. Anyways. Excuse me, I'm just scratching my leg. Right. So, let's bring this up and get to work. Immediately. Let's crack on. Should be that button. It is that button. Is everything still working? Yes. Audio is on. Right. So this is... I will pronounce, obviously, like I said before, I will pronounce it Chillon Castle. And the idea if that's actually how you pronounce it, being it foreign and all that. So yes, very much on the banks of the Lake Geneva. Very pretty scene, as you can see. I'll not call it a criticism, but maybe I should have guided Jonas slightly a little bit more and got him to actually position the castle on the right hand side of the screen, because there's a lovely view, a lovely minimal view of the lake if you go on to what's it called, Google Street View, and look, you get a lovely view of the lake. But he's kind of positioned it in the middle of frames and to the left, so get a lot of this lead in, which is great, not a problem at all. But had I been shooting it, I would have gone a little bit further positioned it further to the right. But that's just me. So we've got a range of data to work with. I've already picked out 48 out of the 135 that he sent me. And like I said at the start, I have already edited... Where did it go? Cancel that. Filters off, we'll go to filters off, and where did them images go that I made? They've disappeared. They should be. I made some images. Does this mean they're gonna disappear on me somewhere? Possibly. Have they been? Oh, hold on. If I go there we go. That's where they are. The one I've already made so far was this one. I threw quite a bit of colour at it. Well, I did do a couple of versions. So there was these ones. Quite like these markings. Kind of ran with that. Tried to go for blue. ended up going for a pinkish contrast. Good, I presume it. Yes, it'll be good afternoon, Kangaroo. How are you? Good to see you. Right, let's go back to rated, and we can get on the work. As you can see, these ones I basically made from these first four. I think it was these first four anyway, just to get underway. So tonight we'll be a little bit more selective and work on some other data. He's done some which are very, very tight in with the with these 70 to 200. So these are like 135 mil. This is great. So it'll be quite interesting to work with these at some stage. These tighter in shots, because I do have a tendency of shooting from far too far back, too wide, going very minimal. So the challenge tonight is, I mean, obviously this is going to be quite appealing to me as being a lot further back. So we might just crack on with one of them, to be honest. Potentially go in for an easy start. Yeah, let's just jump in with these four. Let's go for these five. Oops. And that one. Let's pick to that one to work off, or maybe this one. So you can see there's a bit of a there's a train line runs along the edge, a bit of a road there, or a bridge, whatever it is. Not sure. I did have a little bit of explore on Google Earth to see what it was all about, see what it was like. Right, let's do the usual. Now these were shot with on a Canon, but we can't be too critical. And also the file sizes are smaller than my D850, so the stream should run slightly smoother than normal. Let's hope so anyway. Right, and so we are still looking to change the vignette out of here. Slap it on there. Detail. Still want to flatten out the ISO noise. Let's go back there. Got to do all these things. Right, go to the basic tab. Now, I don't know whether it was the day or the fact that it's still a bit wintry. The colours are quite muted. So I'm going to try to introduce as much colour as I dare. So I can just use warming that up a touch if we go to daylight. Actually, daylight, I quite like this blue of the sea, not the sea, the water. We'll stick with daylight. Yeah. See, it's quite a bit bluer, so we can enhance that. Let's go hard with a deep contrast. Let's actually just lighten that a touch. Lift the shadows. Hopefully we'll keep some of this texture in here. Be able to work with that. Obviously quite a bit of detail up here, but we can work with that. We can work with that. Well, hopefully we can anyway. Right, so let's flatten, raise that. Yeah, maybe not. Let's just leave the whites as it is. So let's ramp up the vibrance, but not that much. 20. That'll already do. Up the saturation just to catch some of these yellowy and green parts, so hopefully they can kind of interact a little bit. So I am very much enjoying this blue. Very good. It's very good. And actually probably just switch this a little bit, just drop that tone a little bit into the reds and oranges, that kind of level. Actually increase the saturation a bit more of this. Not that much though. Just to give them a bit of contrast, a chance to pop through. Now, when I had a look the other day, didn't seem to be any dust spots of any note. There's a couple up there. He's shot it at f14. Oh my god. Right, let's just kill some of these. Doesn't matter about them all, just the ones that look quite strong. Like that one. The sun must have been out on, I think it was Friday when he shot these. Sun must have been out quite strong. I'll do, and then what we'll do, we'll just sync all these across. And that should give everything a bit of a blue boost. Let's have a look. This one we've just worked on. We've got this one. Oh yes, we've got some nice stuff coming through in the middle here. And then this one nicely washed out. And again, a lot of blue coming in here. Now how these are going to come together, Lord only knows. Let's get these into Photoshop and get started. See how we do. Whilst that's loading, we'll just switch back to that. So anyways, anybody got anything good, any good stories to tell? That kind of stuff while these images load. Might take a while. Might take a while. I've just subscribed to Apple TV. If anybody has any recommendations of what I should be watching on that, would be good. Now that I have a telly that's not in the office, I can actually spend time watching it. To be honest, when I did have a look through what was on Apple TV, I did question my judgment of, I mean, it was a free one. I'll get 5 months free. But from what I could see on it, I'm going to be pretty bored after about 5 days. Very little worth watching. Apart from Ted Lasso or whatever it's called. Yeah, daylight savings have just started. Yes, that will have been rough. We've got it to look forward to in about a week and a half. Kangaroo. And then we'll rebalance out. I mean, for me, it's probably better. For communicating with the good old US of A, because you're all an hour closer. Don't have to be stupid, staying up stupidly late or getting up stupidly early. Peter's gonna switch to Sony. Oh my word, that's quite the difference. I would have thought. Might depend what Sony you're gonna be shooting with. Of course. Alan's a Sony shooter. I think it's the one of the AR 7 was. Oh, I don't name them. The third version, I think Alan's on. Whatever it is. Like Sci-Fi Foundation is all right. Okay. You've read? I don't read books, Kangaroo. I haven't barely got enough time to watch telly. Never mind spend time reading a book. That just takes 7 times as long. I did realise, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but that not ever when people read, not everybody reads aloud in their head. I do that. That's why I'm a very slow reader. Because when I read anything, there's a voice in my head reading that. I'm not just looking at words and that's me reading. I'm one of them strange ones that actually, that I have a voice in my head which reads the story back to me. It's very slow. You got the A7R3, right. And the one converter. Are you still doing much with the infrared on? Because did you just get that done reasonably recently? I don't remember. Can't remember. Anyways, that is now loaded. We'll switch back. Alright, let's see how these potentially blend together. See what we may need to do. Well, there's always that. I'm more inclined to actually read a book now that I don't actually have to read it. It's just a thing. Dozen lenses. My God. Interesting. I'm going to have to do something slightly mad at some stage with these. Right. Let's start straightforward. Right, let's just blend these together so they're kind of lined up. Excuse me. Or like the hill in the background just starting to appear. And then this one wants to be about there. Right, let's try arranging these again. Now I'm thinking might go lighten, but take out. Ooh. Take out a couple of layers and try going minimal. Turning these layers on and off. Let the brain adjust to an idea. Maybe. We have that. Let's put a mask on there. Load the mask. Come on. No. Put that to about there. It's probably gone a bit far. Let's go to about there. I don't know. Not sure that this stuff in the front now. I think we might be going quite minimal here, people. If I bring that in there, drop the opacity on this one to about, so I'm going to bring it back to about there. It's softer, that's for certain. I think that maybe works a little bit better. Right, let's just try. This is all under the light and blend mode. Yeah, they're working out. these. Overlay. Just wondering about attempting to bring in other colours. I know I was aiming for something not quite colourful is the wrong word. Contrast between like blue and another colour. But I want to do it complementary. We may just have to kind of stick with this. If we change that to... Ooh. Other things to try for another day with this kind of version. It's like inverted film, doesn't it? We could nearly do something with that. Because it's introduced this other colour. If we can maybe manoeuvre this around. Yeah, let's just undo that. Because it's introducing a little bit of colour onto the castle as well, which is a bonus. Now what we need to do is enhance this colour. Right, so... Oh, that whiskey's strong. If I pick that... Yellows, and then we can introduce some colour. I don't want to dominate the castle, because the castle still needs to be the main focus. Do I go green or do I go red? Actually, I think this green kind of works a little bit better. We could push it hard like that. Lighten it, darken it. Something like so. Right. That looks like it might have some potential. Right, let's make another one of these. And if we can grab some blues and just try to see what options are available to us. I mean, look at that. For an abstract kind of thing. I'm just going to retain that layer for later. We might come back to that one. So let's... I'm just going to add in this red sky. We'll call that. Just so I know what to come back to. So this adjustment layer. What was I doing with this one? Forgotten already. Yes. Bending the blues back to normal. Pick a blue, and then we go increase the saturation. Now there's a bit more definition around there. We can just push that blue a little bit more that way, and it looks interesting. And then kind of fingers crossed that it does actually do something when we start farting around. Let's just crop in from the tops of these. Take it out there. I'll do. I think that should be all there. Right, let's just try something. I will leave that quite light. Yeah. So we'll just maneuver in that, the middle slider on the levels. Maybe, maybe not. Just slightly. Right, let's flatten them down. Then we'll head into Analog Effects Pro. If I hit the right button. That one. And then see how this is going to turn out. Fingers crossed it's going to give me something to work with. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We get something decent in the presets to see. Come on, load. All right. What do we have? They're all going to be quite light because of the nature of the image. Right, let's have a look at this one. Oh, my neck. Good evening, Paul, by the way. Hope you're well. Sneaking in there. Right, so double exposure. Let's have a play around with this. It's got a bit of interest to it. Quite like this mark here. Got the leading line around. Well, let's already darkened it down quite a bit. Okay, so we need to darken this image. Let's knock the brightness back. A bit of green coming in, unfortunately. Contrast is probably wrong. Let's leave that there. Let me bring that down here. Let's darken the sky down. Now, positioning will be crucial here of the vignette. Yeah, I think we can probably use it on this side. Well, you could say that, Peter. I was thinking it was a bit more like a claw, and not was a Monet. Seen various Monets of like the Thames. I was thinking it was looking a bit mottled like that. I think we need to work on colours a little bit. Right, well, film type. Let's knock that off. Would like to get rid of this green here. Let's highlight this light here. Let's just have a look at these film effects. I did nothing. You've got to go in with an imagination, Peter. Or delusions of grandeur, one of the two. In this. You have a healthy imagination. Oh, now. That looks a bit nicer. slightly warmer tones. Let's go to subtle. I know we did subtle, didn't we? Go to cool. Very blue. Purple. Very green. Right, let's go back to warm and that middle one. Because that looked quite attractive. Right, so I'm not overly keen about this splodge of green. So I'm hoping if we can... Right, if that's switched off, what's it like? It's quite dark. Right. Double exposure, and let's going to maneuver this layer. See if it goes out of the way. And it turns it blue. Balls. I'm not going to let go because I want to be able to just click undo and then I'll go back to what it was. Get some of this intersected. Right, so just one of them. It's one of the cases of you just move things around until you get something that you quite like. Now this I would quite like, but it's giving me a bit of an L shape. There's a bit of an edge. Don't particularly want it too edge-like. So let's bring in a bit of yellow into the foreground. We got to work with that a bit more. You're nearly even. I'm almost thinking this could end up being a portrait orientation image. Like an 8x10 crop kind of thing. If this continues to work. No, that's as tall in the picture we can go. Right, okay. Maneuver that there. Them kind of mark, that kind of vertical mark and that block, square blob kind of thing. I don't think they kind of work there. Maybe a little bit further across. And you're losing a lot of the colour in the water. So like something, could that maybe's work? Maybe back a little touch about there. That work, maybe's. Right, let's just look at the balance between the two exposures. I drop the exposure so it's a little bit duller. It's not that much. It's about 40%. Put the exposure balance in the middle. What's that like? More yellow on that. Don't think I can go that much. Let's back to where it was. Very small adjustments. You have to listen. I'm not sure if you missed that much, Paul. Basically, we're working on images from Switzerland. Needless to say, I haven't been. Yeah, I think that might kind of work if we can't, like not a thingy crop, like an 8x10 of like this, and using that leading line in, using this mark as something on the shoreline, and then castle looking very pastel-y, Monet-like. I think we can probably adjust the colours a little bit more when we get back into Photoshop. Windsor Castle again. Now that's a castle I would like to do. I think I'm going to get a commission off the royal family to do my interpretation of it. I think they would be interested in such a thing. Anybody got connections with the royal family? Right, let's just try the contrast down. New. Let's keep that up. Rather look like that's got a bit of light on it. Excuse me. Just moving. My brother used to stand guard there. Could he get me in the door? But yeah, it would be quite good to do some of the royal stuff. I think that would be quite cool to do. Well, that just gets you a big payoff, doesn't it, Paul? All that, you know, you could do with the money, obviously. I think my problem is I'm not 17. Right. Okay, let's send this back into. I think that's probably compositionally wise. I think this is as good as it's gonna get at the minute. I mean, there's a little mark there which could be interpreted as a cloud. That's what I was gonna say. Right. Let's just have a quick look through the older presets. Is there anything obvious to latch on to with this one? I think there is at the moment. A little bit doer. Right. That's okay. This actually, what I'm gonna do, thinking about the future, I'm gonna add this as TNE167. Build that collection out of presets. Next collection coming. I can pass the PC with the money. Yes. I think this one's a hell of a lot better than what it was, Paul. Big thanks to another Paul. Oh, and also, by the way, oh no, Simon's not here to. Well, I presume he's not here to complain about it. But the squeaky mouse has gone. Squeaky mouse has gone to meet its maker. And no longer will. You might be able to hear that. But it doesn't squeak anymore. It has been replaced by a superior model. Again, by somebody very, very generous. Right, so did we get... No, we didn't. I thought I pressed OK. We're back into Photoshop. The thing with that, Peter, I might lose my freedom as well by doing that. And that's if my drone still works. I still haven't tested it again after I was out with Alan. And that was in January when it wouldn't fly. I've never tried it since. I think it might be because I sat on it. You know, if I'd crashed it into the sea or crashed it generally, then great, but I think my fat ass crashing into it whilst it was in its bag is probably why it's not flying anymore, unfortunately. Right, so this adjustment layer that I made earlier on, I'm going to put it above this layer just to see what this might do. Did it do anything? They really do not. All it did was not affect that there. Great. Wonderful. Fine. Right, let's try this one. That's because it only applied to certain colours. So this little beauty Go red. Go for a bit of autumnal colour on the bank side. Something like that. Alright, what I'm going to do. Who's fun? That one. So what I'm thinking I might do, I'll try to bring it. Do I bring in some blue again to there? I'll just leave it as is. I don't know. I'm a little bit lost now. Well, let's bring in a curves layer. Hi, Johan. How are you? Thank you for the thumbs up. Right, let's drop this a little bit more. Just rebalance, just using the curves here just to rebalance the sky back into a bluer state, I think, maybe. What do I do? Just embrace the yellow. It's very green though, isn't it? I don't like these things when it gets too green. It probably gives it a bit more drama that way. Let's go to the RGB curve again. Do that, and that's bringing in a bit of red in the foreground. A bit of red, Peter. A bit of red in the foreground. Oh, by the way, Peter, did you get your basement salvaged, saved from the water? Lift that so it's not flatlining. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Curves adjustments can be great, can't they? Fantastic. Been quite nice. Right, so that's it off. Much stronger foreground now, isn't it? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Right. Do I bring some more blue back in though? Or do I like it softer and more pastely? God damn it. Decisions. Decisions to be made. Maybe split the difference. Yeah, I bet it wasn't very pleasant. I'm glad you managed to salvage it. Right, let's go. Let's split the difference. 73%. So that's there or thereabouts. Even saturation. Let's maybe that, and then just blend it up over. So the foreground's really red, and then that kind of blends out. So if we go to a gradient filter, and I kind of started about there and ended it about there, the wrong way around, Andy, you plonker. Something like that. That's maybe it's a bit better, a bit stronger. Can't we turn her all the time though, Paul? The only thing when I start doing this is the foreground is stronger than there's a distinct lack of balance between this area here and up here in the sky. There's not two sides. So I had to balance that out. I would maybe have to do something really... We're getting more and more layers now. Let's just zoom out here. Edit, free transform. Okay, now let's go soft light. And let's make this bigger. Bigger. Okay, this kind of thing. I got, you see, like by putting some of this in the sky and give it a bit more of bit more balance, hopefully. And just ignore what's going on down here because we will balance it. Let's have a look at the other blend modes. Yeah, that one might even makes the sky a little bit stronger. Wow. Wow. Yowza. Nope. Right, let's go overlay. Let's just move this around to see if there's anything else that jumps out at us or not. I think that's a not. Alright, okay, let's just hit that to confirm it. And not zoom in that much. And let's take a mask on here and another gradient. That's still there. I just kind of half it there, the wrong way around, Andy, man, you plonker. To that. Undo. And have it end about there. And then maybe use a paintbrush or the eraser tool, wherever that is. There it is. Make that bigger and make it, it's quite fluffy. Let's reduce the opacity. Make it even bigger and just reduce some of the strength out of there. Lovely. Let's just use the paintbrush. Oops, wrong. Whoa, I'm pressing the wrong button. Make it bigger. There we go. I don't know what I confirmed there. Let's just paint that in gradually. Nice and pastely. We might even get away with a square crop with this one, I think. Potentially. Thank you, Peter. We got there in the end. It was the whiskey which helped. Just needed to settle in. Make its way from the stomach to the brain for it to take effect. Make use of its creative powers. Good God, I'm halfway down that bottle already. Only got it last week. Somebody here has a lot to answer for. Actually, that's sort of looking quite canny. Let's see the eraser tool. I'm going to paint over the edge of that a little bit. Nice, nice. So that's effective. Yeah, so I'm thinking when we get into Lightroom, where's the ratio button? You know, we could do something along these kind of lines. Something like that. Or even a, where's it, by 10, that one. You know, go a bit more standy up. Alternatively known as portrait orientation. Well, that kind of works as well. I'm not going to crop. Not yet. What do I mean? Undo. For God's sake. Cute. In the middle. And that will then chop out some of this ugly green stuff on the edges. Kind of stick to the warmer stuff. Because you know we all like that warmer tone. Or some of us do anyway. Right, so that is... Oh, it's only 1.7 gig. That's fine. Right, so I'm going to save this and head back into Lightroom. Hopefully it will save it into the catalogue. We might, once we've done the actual finish kind of touch-up, might come back into it and then I'll have a little play with that red hue adjustment layer to see if we can make a second version of that. It would be quite cool if we can. It would be quite good. Right, anything happening on Discord? No, all's quiet. Just waiting to save. By the way, if you've enjoyed this edit, please do leave the stream a thumbs up. It would be much appreciated. They say it helps. I wouldn't know. What else is going on in Andy World? If you've had time, hopefully you've had a bit of a listen to the latest podcast that went out at did it go out the weekend or before the weekend? Can't remember. Lost track already. So that's on all the usual podcast episode places. Thank you, Kathleen. Much appreciated. And if you're on Patreon, then you can watch the video version of it, the unedited version of it. Well, I'm saying unedited, topped and tailed with nothing cropped out in the middle, unlike the audio version. So there was that. I'm recording another one on Monday, I think it is. So there'll be another one out potentially back end of next week. That's saved. Oh my god, the bots are in. Right, so Lightroom. There must be enough people watching. The bots have arrived. Right then, 3 stars. Create a virtual copy. We'll do some cropping. Develop module. Crop tool. Obviously, I mean, watching long enough, you know for a fact I always leave the cropping to last. Thank you, Peter. I can't remember what was the March one? Oh, was that the minimal Dunsenborough one for that I made in January? And I'll give you another one as well, didn't I? There was a bonus one in March for this month. Bonus one from Seacliff Beach. A normal image. It was sharp and everything. Not blurry at all. Right, so I'm just getting the crop kind of position. Now I'm thinking this main keep block of this castle. I don't know. European castles, do they have keeps as well? I don't know. This block here, just having that third line on that side of it. We've got this splodge that looks like a potential cloud up here. A little bit of the railway, not the railway, the road bridge thing there. Leading line. Mark there. That square blob there. Bit of stuff going on in the water. Looks kind of left and righty. Very descriptive terminology tonight. Looking a bit left and righty, so it looks like water, which is good. Nice colourful sky. I think that's kind of works as a square crop. Quite colourful, quite overly colourful for me, I think. I don't tend to do this kind of colour. Looks quite nice. But yes, very not me, I think. Right, so I'm going to create virtual copy again. I'm going to try this portrait orientation. Maybe even squeeze a little bit further. Squeeze a little bit further that way. We got that curve in and away again. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Looks quite canny. Hi, Alien. Good to see you. Are you on American time already, Alien? Because they're like an hour late than normal. Oh, just late. Hope you're well anyway. Right, create virtual copy. Let's go 2x3. But let's do a traditional landscape orientation. Now the thing is how far across do I go to get into the modern stuff? You got, you know, like obviously the road bridge thing. It's kind of there. It's like, do I come across here and get this walkway in, or do I crop down? I'm loath to include this block here. Whatever it is. I'm not even sure what it is. I think it's a piece of wall. It is probably a piece of wall because there's a railway along here. Do I go sky? Do I go... I think we go sky. Just crop that in there. Something like that. I just lost track of time. Thank you very much, Alien. Thank you very much. I'm doing okay. I had a bit of a wobble this week, but doing alright, I think, now. I think that works. Yeah, then the minute it just seems to be like, right, let's get through today, and let's get through to tomorrow as soon as possible, and let's get through next week as soon as possible, and let's get April out of the way, and let's get May out of the way. And I'm in one of them moods at the moment, Aileen. Another one of them moods where it's like, why does whiskey not last very long? They don't make the bottles big enough. Right, I think we've got a couple of... I'm fine, Aileen, I'm fine. Not as bad as what I was last year, that's for certain. All is good, do not worry. Right, so yes, we're going to go back into Photoshop to have a look. I'm going to switch all these layers off that we made. Get back to this stage. I think it was this stage. Turn on that layer. Maybe it's even that layer. No, that layer. Okay. Maybe this isn't going to work this time. Let's go curves adjustment layer. Oh yeah, I think we do, Peter. So let's boost these. I think let's not go that far. Well, this is pure experimentation. This just to see how we work on with it. So let's go into filter and load in Analog Effects Pro, see what we get. Looks almost a bit Taj Mahal with it being changed to white. To be honest, I'm just glad I started drinking again. I can't believe I tried to go through this life without drinking. The cure to so many ills. In moderation, of course. Oh, very good. You've got to do that now and again, Aileen. I actually did more work yesterday morning than what I'd done all of last week. By about 10:30 yesterday morning, I'd done more than the entirety of last week. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. I was feeling very motivated yesterday. Till about 11:30, then it upped and went. Right, so this maybe not working as well. Because it was just an just an idea. Right, let's go to the old presets. And see what offerings these are making. Potentially that one. Let's keep on going down. Must admit, I am starting. I was going to say I'm not starting to get lazy, but I am very lazy by only using my I know they're my own presets, but I am using my presets far too much these days. Instead of building new, I'm just using my presets to get ideas. Right, let's go to that's a blowy sunset. Let's try that one. When I read Homer there, I was thinking the Iliad Homer. For a moment there, Paul. But also, like I said earlier on, I did classical civilization at A level, and one of the things we had to do was read the Iliad and the Odyssey. And obviously, even back then, I mean, because it was 27 years ago now, I think it was, when I was doing A level. The Simpsons were around at that time, so whenever the said, the Iliad was written by Homer, guess who I had in my head as the guy that wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey was a yellow bald-headed man that drank beer a lot and was very funny. Not some ancient Greek fella or whatever he was. He was a yellow American cartoon. Kangamoo says, oof, what about? Only that without it. No, it's a bit strong. It's a bit strong. Right, let's just try maneuvering some of this around. Well, you envisage things in your head, and when the only Homer you've ever come across is a yellow cartoon, takes some getting out of the head, especially when it's when the Greek version is as boring as what it was in comparison. Actually, I quite like that there. Quite like that yellow light. This section here. It's quite nice. Right, let's see if we can... Far too light. Do something here. Or not. Case maybe. Yeah, I think we need to be slightly below 50%. So the original version's a bit stronger. Okay. Turn that off. Yeah, that needs to stay quite high. Bring that down and bring the contrast up. Yeah, like that. Lovely. We can increase the saturation back to where it was. Yep. Film type. Why is that turned off? Washes it out. Yes, we want to retain some of that pink. We go to cool and add on that one. Turn that on. Still washing it out. Let's leave film type off. Levels and curves. Yeah. Let's bring that down so it's stronger. Let's bring this down as well. Let's bring that up the way to about here. Lovely. Let's drop that. Raise it. Not that much. About there. Peter, why have you retracted a message that I didn't see? Epic poems don't rhyme. They don't. Actually, after having to study them for out of the need, I did actually buy them. So I've got the Iliad and the Odyssey. I've got the Poetic Edda as well, which is the Norse stuff. I also bought the Quran and the Bible as well, as literary works, not factual religious bollocks. Yes, so they sit alongside the Lord of the Rings. It's that's kind of what they are. What did you retract? Kind of a little light reading. Yeah, a little bit light reading. I just bought my eight-year-old nephew the Lord of the Rings trilogy in book form. What a cool uncle I am. Well, somebody said he had the reading ability of a 15-year-old. So I was like, well, time for Lord of the Rings, son. Crack on. Not sure his mother was too happy. A huge spelling mistake. All right, okay. Like on Twitch, they have like a just chatting category. I'm sure this would almost fit. South Park was the best thing ever. I remember, I think it was the very first episode, and me and my two best mates, we'd been out into town and got exceedingly drunk and came back to watch the first episode. Legendary. Absolutely crying with laughter. That much I remember. Don't remember much about the night out, apart from we'd been for a night out and then came back to watch it. And obviously that was the highlight. But South Park was fantastic. Right, so I think we'll be kind of just abandoning this one at this stage. I think the other version is better, but we will save it. We will keep it. It will be retained as a version, as an option. I presume not as homage to it than Paul. I'd imagine he's a bit older than about 1998 when it started. Was it 1998 when South Park started? I have no idea. I can't remember. Right. Got very much distracted. Right, flatten image. File. Save as. Save. Grand. Right, so this will be back in Lightroom now as well, hopefully. Yes, it is. Right, so I think this one could actually hue and saturation. Let's drop the saturation of the yellow a bit. Basic things. Let's whoa, big changes. Zero that back in. Lift the highlights. Shadows don't really matter. Whites, no. Let's just leave them about there. Right, so this one is less important about cropping. I think I'll probably go wider here and just take off a lot of the bottom and just embrace the colour in amongst all the modern stuff over on the right. So this one I'm thinking cropping 16 by 9, maybe 16 by 7. 16 by 7, I think. Quite a very, very, very narrow crop. Oh, good, good, 2 by 1. Just give a little bit more depth. See, quite a bit of depth there, isn't it? So we go, yeah, about there. Something like that. I still feel like I want to chop a little bit more off the foreground. But it's not a very good version though, so maybe it'll not really matter. Because it's a bit whack. About there, maybe. About there. Done. Right. I think the other version's a lot better. Well, that was just a bonus version. Yeah. Yeah, other versions 10 times better. 10 times better. No worries, Paul. Good to see you, mate. I know I've just dragged on a little bit more. Have a fun day. Enjoy Wednesday. Should never open emails so early in the morning. I always ignore mine for at least 2 days. Everybody gets annoyed. Very good. Good to see Paul. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Thank you very much, Aileen. But yeah, I think the first version is the winner by a long way. Right then, I have kept you long enough, obviously, as Paul's had to go and do some work. Thank you all very much for watching. This is our finished image for today. This will be the one going into the collaboration collection. Where's the button? I think that one's turned out quite canny. There's a lot of work there to get to that point. From a very blue image, which I deliberately started blue for some reason. Don't know why. We did. But yeah, it's turned out all right. Right then, thank you all very, very much. Remember, if you haven't already, listened to the podcast that went out last week or the weekend, whenever it was. Check that out. Patreon people, the video versions on there, and wallpaper as well, if you haven't already picked that up. And what else is coming up? Recording a new podcast on Monday, so that'll be out next week sometime. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday, as always, or quite often anyway, with more of this location. And I think that will probably do for tonight. So thank you all very, very much for watching. Remember, in these harrowing times, please do all stay safe, be nice to each other. And until the next one, whenever that'll be, but it'll be Tuesday. What do I do to say? We'll catch you later. Whatever. Until the next one, keep it hard. See you.